Hi guys, so I've mentioned a few times that I don't have a lot of the Crafter's Companion opaque pigment inks only because they take a long time to dry and I am not the type of person that will sit around and wait for that to happen. So what you're supposed to do is seal them in with like embossing powder, which I don't really use that often, but I would love to. I have tons of embossing powders. I don't know if I probably mentioned them when I went through my craft room. They're up here, and I'm actually keeping a step stool here in my craft room. That way I already have it here. If there's something up high, I'll just grab it and not have to like go get the ladder, because that's just a whole other thing. And then I'll actually use the thing. So up top I have tons of colored embossing powders. So a Crafter's Companion always says that these are nice because you don't have to have tons of embossing powders, you just have to have some clear, and then you have your inks, right? And then I realized, or I remembered, that they just came out with the layered flower stencils that I had reviewed a while back. They had sent those for a review and there were tons of them, and everyone's like, oh, where can I get them, or how can I get them? And I'm like, I don't know, they're not on their site yet. And the gal that I was kind of going through at Crafter's Companion to do the reviews, the lady that had approached me, wasn't really answering that question. So I didn't know, but they are there now. So this is just a scrap piece of paper. These are about 5 by 7, and this piece of paper is 5 by 6.5, so I figured that's probably enough. So what I want to do is some layering, some embossing, and we'll try it out that way. Obviously you can stamp these, seal them, you can stamp them, dry them with your heat gun. I don't know how well that, because they're kind of chalky, right? The pigment inks, they have a lot of pigment. And so I always feel like, even with close to my heart, I used to get the vanilla cream and then like they're white, which are really great and they work pretty well. They just stay wet. Like even when I was ready to send the letter off, or the card, whatever it was, they were still wet. So for me, that's not ideal, you know, that's not preferable. But so what I'm gonna do is use these layers again. These do say, you know, 1, 2, 3, and you can use them in ascending order and descending order. I think they tell you here that you should go, let's see, lift the stencil from, okay, attach the base to your cardstock with low-tack tape, attach the middle stencil, hold on, with the stencil, lift the stencil from the cardstock and allow it to dry, attach the middle stencil, attach the top stencil. So yeah, they want you to go 3, then 2, then 1. But I kind of found out I like better using the background at the end. So this is, let's go back a second. This happens to be Dainty Bluebells. So yes, this was sent for my review. It's not really something I needed to have in this video, but I will go ahead and put all the disclaimers there for you guys. Because really I bought my own opaques and everything else is, but I guess I'll still have it there just in case. Okay, so I already have one little issue, and well, first of all, my paper is kind of small, so hopefully it doesn't start rolling around, but I'm just going to put this up here. You can see this top isn't going to be on the paper anyway. So I'm just going to place that down. Is that I don't have green opaque pigment because I just got that kit, right? And I just emailed about not having received all of them. I'm just going to tape this down here. But I do have Honey Pot and I do have a blue, so I thought, why don't I try to make my own green for this middle section? I do need some blue here. What color? The lighter one, huh? So I'm just looking at the picture that they have here. They have the lighter being the accents pieces here. Sorry about the lighting there. So see, it's like kind of like a really light little blue. So I'll do that. So I do need to use this all over the thing, and then I'm going to try to mix in some of the Honey Pot to make green. We'll see. It may or may not work. I do like blending with these because I do have a few. Before I got this set, I did have a few of these. How's that light so bright right there? Weird. The one coming up from over here. So I figured, I already lost my train of thought. Who cares? But I do like blending with it. That's all I was going to say. Where is my blue? I don't think I have it. Oh, right here. Ooh, it's almost the same color blue. Now, this probably has a water reactive dye in it. I don't care. You can switch them out or use them. Yeah, I'm like, this is brand new, but I'm not going to waste that. I'm going to go ahead and dip in here. And they do have very long dry time. That's why I think I can rub these together and hopefully get a green color going. But I'm just going to dab that in there. And basically do the whole thing because I need the light blue. I'm doing a little bit lighter in where it's supposed to be green because I don't want to put too much blue. Ooh, that's not good. Let's start at the top and bring it down. You can use your little pixie spray or whatever you might have, of course, to help you hold the stencil down. I'm just trying to use tape. And it's not doing the greatest job, but that's okay. So I'm really getting that blue in these little spots where that blue is supposed to be. Oh, interesting. What the heck? I don't know if you notice. What? Yeah, no. This is weird. On the very top, maybe it's just gonna have that and not little spots. Yeah, I guess not. Weird. In the design, it looks like it should have some little sprigs out here too, but I guess not. So I'm gonna grab some yellow and I'm only gonna try to mix it, hopefully. We'll see what happens. In the spots that I want to be green, which would be here, this whole middle stem. So I'm just trying to stay away from those little areas. Hey, I think it's kind of working right. I mean, what you see is that green color that's there. So as soon as I'm done with this, oh, I'm gonna try to seal it in. Can you guys see everything? Okay, I'm just at the bottom here. Not bad. I mean, you gotta really get in there. And then too, because this is stenciling, obviously sometimes blue or whatever colors, they kind of mix together. So if you have a little blue, that's not bad. Cool, okay. So that was Oasis and Honey Pot. And I'm going to lift this up. Look at that, we made ourselves some green, okay. And then I'm gonna take the embossing powder from Crafter's Companion, only because I have this, then I bought it in a different kit. But any embossing powder, clear embossing powder you have would be good. And hopefully that blue is still wet. Like I said, it usually has a very long, I don't think theirs has the longest dry time as some other, like the Martha Stewart one was really bad. And I mean bad, it takes a long time to dry. Look at that. I think that's pretty good. And I'll show you why I use a coffee filter in a minute, but I've already shown you that trick before. And take my heat gun. This is one from Crafter's Companion. And just kind of stay in their area until it starts melting and then move away. Hopefully you guys, oh, was I out of frame? Let me bring this down lower, I think is what I need to do. And hopefully you can see better. So as it starts getting glossy, you know what? It's because this, okay. Okay, interesting. Sorry if this lighting was kind of weird. So this is, again, is Crafter's Companion embossing powder. So usually what happens is it starts melting, you move away, but this one you really kind of stay a little bit longer, so it makes like a whole covering. Okay, because when I was moving away kind of quickly, because that's what you do once it starts melting, otherwise you can kind of burn it. And what happens when you burn it, it just becomes flat and it looks like nothing. It's so weird. So I had to come back and it becomes like a whole piece. More like a layer than, I don't know how to explain it. Really odd. I mean, it's cool. Like, that's good. It didn't stick so much on the blue, but again, we did the blue early on, so maybe that's why. All right, so let me pour this back in. That's kind of why I use a coffee filter. It's inexpensive, it works really well, and once you get that going, you can keep reusing it, of course. So I'm gonna put the lid on this in case I knock it over while we're continuing our work. That's really pretty. So now you can touch it all you want and, you know, it's not gonna smear. Okay, so the next one is layer 1. And I'm gonna kind of place it, remembering that I had placed my stencil, let me move up a little bit, way down at the bottom, basically. This one's a little bit harder to match up because it could be anything. And then I'm just gonna have to be careful because I can see like here, there's that green. It's gonna repel it. Why is this? Hold on. Nope. This is weird. This one's a weird one, guys. So like the blue's there. Okay, I'm trying to line it up so that blue is in there. But you can see down here, it's there. Right here, it's kind of going out of the frame. So I have to really work with this one. This is odd. It's a little bit off. There. It has to be here, which is weird. Okay, so that one doesn't line up that great, but that's okay. We'll keep working with it. Maybe my other paper moved while I was working on it. I don't know. So what happens is, even though I'm going to come in with another ink, it should repel it if you really think about it, right? Because this is coated, but it may not. So we'll see what happens. But this one did go off the top because, again, it just went off the top. So I'm going to hold it. I'm going to dip into, which is this one, Ocean Blue. And really give it a good rub, obviously, where I want the blue. And try to just get over that little space. Not really rubbing it too hard. We'll see what happens. I might have... So, oh. As I'm going over this, I'm going to come back and try to clean off the little areas that are going to have overlap, just to make sure. And I'm just gonna use my hand just to clean off the powder that might be, not the powder, the ink, sorry, that might be on those little areas there, this green, just so it doesn't stick and turn everything blue. It should repel it if you really think about it, but who knows. So I'm just going over with my finger, just those areas. Okay. And really pretty. I like the differentiation in color because I did a little hard in some areas, a little bit lighter in others. And let's get this going so we can get this on here. I'm going to do this side and then I'm going to do the other side because this is a little bit longer, a little more disparate. So I'm not going to hit it too hard. You saw me hit on the back earlier and it seems like it took off a lot of the embossing powder. So I'm just going to do this, but not too hard. Making sure that gets on there really well. Okay, so I'm going to be a little more kind of staying in place and see if I can melt this a little bit better. So I can see already, actually that's not gonna hurt anything, okay. I love this effect. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at that. So now you can say, why didn't you just do it all in one step, right? You can do the embossing, because you saw how we blended the yellow and the blue and it made green. No problem. If I came back in here, I would just cover over that little light blue accent, right? Or do this one first, then the light blue accent second. Well, you can't really do that because if you, well, I guess, no, that wouldn't work because for some reason their accent was light blue. You would put that under, right, a lighter color or the darker, it wouldn't work. So I think the steps I took were probably best there. So really pretty, really cute. I do like embossing powders. I just don't use them that often. The reason I did this is because now I'm going to do the background. I'm going to do the background matte, so it just kind of plays off each other there, so that's a little more. And I have not picked the color for the background, so that'll be fun. What do you guys think? Yellow? Yellow, blue, that always looks nice, doesn't it? So I'm not gonna use the pigment ink for that because then I would have to seal it somehow or wait a really long time, and I don't know what that really long time is. If you guys like to use your heat tool and it works, let me know because I would like to know about that. I have embossing powder everywhere anyway. Ugh. All right, and then we have this, which is our third layer, which I'm using as a third layer here. And I'm just laying it up here. This one doesn't quite matter. I mean, you want it to be straight, I guess, if you're that type of person that's really, you know, needs to be straight. But let me stick this here. I will tell you, silicone is not the best thing for this to stick to. It doesn't really want to stick on it, which is good, right? It's silicone. It's supposed to repel stuff, kind of. But I'm just have to hold it down really well. And let's see what color. I'll use some quick dry, maybe. And we said yellow. I have Honey Pot right in front of me, but I want something brighter. Lemon Tonic. I try to keep these together, you guys, in the family. So like Lemon Tonic, Honey Pot, and what's the other yellow one? Did I just use it? Honey Pot, Lemon Tonic. Not Straw Bale. Is it Straw Bale? No. I don't know all the names, but I try to keep them all together so that we can... Here, it must be this one. No, that is the same one. I don't know. For the quick dry. And I will grab a Lelo right here. And what I like to do with this one is try... Well, actually, since it's going to repel everything anyway, because it's already glossy, you can be a little more leisurely with this one. But I try to miss the areas that already have ink. You know what I'm saying? So like in here, I'll come in here kind of lightly. But with that embossing powder on there, it should be able to just kind of come off at the end. We'll just rub it away. So that's kind of a nice 2-for-1 help, because normally, like I said, I like to keep it. I go over and just try to hit the areas that aren't already covered with something. But this time, we'll just go over everything. I'm still going to go a little darker on the outer edges and then lighter as I go towards the middle. Hope you guys can still see what I'm doing. So I did want to get my hands dirty. I haven't done a lot of this kind of thing recently because I've been reviewing and doing other things. But I was like, I want to play with... There's so many things. Those distress inks I bought, distress ink sprays I got recently. Just more stenciling, more stuff. Maybe making little books or whatever you guys are all requesting. Look at that. And, like I said, this stuff... You can come in here. Let me... Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, I can use this. I was gonna, nope, this isn't open. I was gonna use a wipey, and then I have these guys, which are, I bought at the beginning of the school year, which are kind of useless. They're not antibacterial or anything like that. Here they are. I tell you, I move things around because supposedly I'm gonna find them easier, do things easier when I'm organizing and cleaning, and then I don't know where things are anymore. This used to be right on top of my desk here. So you can kind of come in and just polish that up, right? Get rid of that ink that got on there. And you can see it's the yellow's picking up. So just in those areas, I'm not really doing it to the paper, just trying to get this cleaned up a little bit. I love it. I love how we mix those colors to make green. Like I said, I don't have green, so that was a really nice surprise there. But nice little background for a card. Maybe off camera here, I'll make this into a card. I don't know. I say things and then I'm like, it's okay. It's just something to look at. But let me, yeah, you know what? I'll do that right now. Let me trim it down just a little bit and we'll see what we can do. Okay, so I'm going to take the paper here. I have some quick dry and Honey Pot, and we're going to go around the edges. And I should really just do that with this behind here. You can do it with blue. I just wanted to stick with the yellow, so I'm going to go with yellow. Honey Pot's a little bit more orangey, really, so I probably should use a different pad, but that's okay. Oh, you can see that? Oh, actually, maybe honey... No, that's okay. I'm going to be very gingerly using it. Like I said, it's much more orange, and again, that is the other color in that color family, which is kind of odd. But that's okay. So I'm not being too hard on there with that. That's good enough. And I'm just going to quickly slap this together with a just a little card topper from the Botanical Bliss box that I recently reviewed. And I just stuck my fingers in a bunch of yellow ink. So let me wipe that away. Where's my little towel I had? I don't know. And then so I went to cut this down, and so it's a weird size because it's weird. It's not 5x7. The edges of this thing aren't matting that great. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and stick this down to a piece of paper. This piece I did cut at 4 3/4 by 6 and almost 6 3/4. It was a scrap piece of paper that I had here that I was able to cut this way, but not so much the length. So it's like 4 3/4 by 6 3/4 almost. And I'm just going to really stick this down. Again, some people gave me some very good tips of if your paper is wonky like this after you do, you know, mixed media work, to run it through your Gemini. It'll flatten it out for you, especially after you stick it to like a background piece of paper like this. So this is very, very, very lightly matted, and I know it's too long, so I'm going to take this to my guillotine and cut the bottom. Because for it to be side by side the right way, the length of it was kind of funky, so I had to cut this off. And like I said, it's kind of a weird, not really a number, like 5, 7, and, you know, 6 and some 16ths, I don't know. So I'm just going to eyeball that a little bit more this way. A little bit more. Oh. That's good enough. So now this should mat on a 5x7 card decently because it just will, hopefully. And then to finish it off, I'm not doing too much. I was looking in that Botanical Bliss. I'm like, oh, but you know, the ribbons in there are not anywhere close to the color for this. And so I chose the blue. They do have yellow colorway in there, but I'm just going to put this blue one like here, but I don't want to cover up too much. So that's the thing with stuff like this. I'm like, it just covers so much of it. You know, you want this to stand out. Let me think about putting one other thing in here because this looks very just out there on its own. Let me go look and see what else I can pull out. Okay, I got it. So I got a little piece of paper that's 4 3/4 by 1 1/4 width. It's just some yellow cardstock from Michael's recollection. And I was just going to distress it with a little bit of honey pot, but then I thought, oh, you know what? We can echo whatever we have going on in the card with this. I think that'd be fun, right? So let me just kind of line this up in a way that looks nice. Something like that. I don't know. Let's go up a little bit. Like in here. And I'm just going to dip into honey pot. Quick dry, of course. Kind of echo that. Oh, that worked out really well, except for this piece of tape that was here in the way. Piece of tape. How dare you? Let me see here. It wasn't too in the way, I guess. All right, not too bad. Cute. I think that'll work. I'll put that away later. And bring our card back, and we can add this on here. Just a little something. I think that works. That looks like it works pretty good. Again, you can tape it down, but since we have like this little kind of clear stuff here, I feel like we need to use a wet glue to really hold it down. And again, I'm bummed out that I have to cover up some of my beautiful work there. That's kind of, I guess, my issue with like Anna Griffin. I'm like, why are you doing all this pretty stuff and then you just cover it up? I can't do it. My brain is like, nope, you got to see all that prettiness. But I got to get over it. So here we go. And then we have this little guy. Again, not my favorite thing, these pop out kind of things, but I think that'll be good. So let's get some 3D glue gel or whatever dimensional thing you like. And I think this is pretty good, guys. I don't know. What do you guys think? Was it Christy? One of the gals here says, well, when you ask what we think, I always respond. Like you can hear me. So let's put this here. Boop. Something like that. And then you can mount this onto your 5x7 card. Obviously, if I had the 5x7 card, I should have just brought one out. I would have put this on there first and then built it up because now I have to wait for this to dry to really squish it down on there. But not bad and really fun. I like this look. Really, really fun. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you're doing well, staying safe, staying home. Please stay home. I know people are getting a little antsy, and I totally understand it, especially for people's livelihoods. But, you know, I just don't... It's a cyclical thing, because, like, people are still, you know, don't want to get sick. They don't want to go out, so I don't think they're going to go to your restaurant right now, even if it was open. You know what I'm saying? Like, to sit down and all that stuff. So I think we have to kind of take a breath, really think about it, and... I mean, do you want to go to the mall and start picking through some stuff? You want to go back to Soul Cycle and start, you know, huffing and puffing while somebody's right next to you? Like, probably not. So let's hopefully, you know, we get things figured out medically, things that can help people out, and so we can, you know, move forward. So anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you're all doing well, and I will see you all at the next one. Bye now.